You're all invited to a centennial celebration. What they were celebrating wasn't important, and it sounded like a heap of fun until 2,000 maniacs, crazed for carnage, started bathing an entire town in pulsing human blood. You'll see 6 young strangers doomed to slaughter by an ancient curse.
There came an awful sound.
And from his lips there came an awful sound.
Brutal, evil, ghastly beyond belief. You'll see the most diabolical device ever contrived, designed solely for assassination by a town of madmen, insane with bloodlust.
Stonewall took a gun and he made the Yankees run, but he...
2,000 maniacs, gruesomely stained in blood color.
Stonewall said, I'm a-giving you a dying man's request.
I'm a-giving you a dying man's request. Yeah!
Starring Playboy's favorite playmate, Connie Mason.
Yeah! Oh, the South's gonna rise again.
All right, thanks for joining us on another episode of Why Not Go. We're here in St. Cloud, Florida. I'm really excited. This is one of my favorite movies, 2000 Maniacs, was filmed right here in St. Cloud. The opening shot was right at this intersection, and then just where you see those lights there across the trees, that was where the banner was, where it said Pleasant Valley Centennial. And so the opening shot, and then the interiors, we've got interior shots we're going to look at the Hunter Arms Hotel. But this little intersection right here, not far from Disneyland, was a really pivotal film. I first watched it, I believe, it was in the 80s when I had my first apartment, and I started renting, back then you rent VHSs. And the movie came out in 1964, Herschell Gordon Lewis, and I guess it was considered a B movie, but it really has a great story, which we'll get into in a little bit. But it was also the first horror slasher movie. Psycho came out in 1960, 4 years before, but this is the first movie, and that's what makes it so iconic, of really kind of gruesome killings in it. This is long before Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is before I Spit on Your Grave. Before all those kind of movies, Hills Have Eyes. 2000 Maniacs was really the first gory slasher movie, and it was, which is so historical, and it was filmed right here. And I love Herschell Gordon Lewis's other movies. I used to watch She-Devil on Wheels, which was about a female biker gang that kills people. Blood Feast was another one of his movies. Color Me Blood Red. He was kind of like a Russ Meyer in the 60s, who was also sort of considered a B-movie director. I love him too. Faster Pussycat, oh my God, don't get me started. But Herschell Gordon Lewis was really very prolific in the horror genre, and I think he was so talented. His movies were really good. I just recently rewatched 2000 Maniacs, and I was reminded how good the story is. So the story, and I won't give away the ending, but the story is that this small southern town, I always thought it was probably shot in Mississippi, not Florida. This small southern town was wiped out during the Civil War, and after 100 years, which was supposed to be 1965, and the Civil War was 1865, they rise from the dead to basically kill Yankees and avenge the slaughter that the Yankees did back in 1865. So you've got two couples in the movie that are diverted into the town with the fake detour signs. It's actually three couples, and one of the women of the couple, actually she picks up a hitchhiker, but it's three, so they weren't really couples. She wasn't really a couple with him, but it's three couples, and she was quite famous. So the actress who played who was the blonde, not the one in the couple, the Millers, but the one who picked up the hitchhiking teacher, her name was Connie Mason, and she was actually quite famous. She was a Playboy centerfold in June of 1963, and we'll show the shot here, not the full centerfold obviously, but to be a Playboy centerfold in '63 and then to be in this movie, so I'm sure she was quite known. Very, very, very pretty woman. So, so this was shot here in probably '63. So how many years ago is that? 60 years. 60 years ago, this movie was shot here, and I don't think there was any other horror movie at the time that was so graphic, and the deaths were very, very imaginative. We'll get into that a little bit later. So here it was. So right here was where the mayor would have welcomed them as they came in their really cool cars, their cool convertibles. The mayor would have welcomed them and said, "We've got you're going to be part of our centennial." So we're going to get closer to the Hunter Arms Hotel, but that's the famous hotel where the mayor and I love the character Rufus, the guy that has the hat on, and they all gather around their cool cars, their cool 60s convertibles, and tell them that they're the guest of honors at the Centennial. Of course, at that time, they don't know what the guest of honor means. So we're gonna go take a look at the hotel. But let's pan one more shot of the Hunter Arms Hotel, where movie history was made 60 years ago today. Alright, so here I am right across from the hotel, and this hotel has been here since 1927. We're going to check out the inside in a little bit. So this is again where the street was, where they had the banner for the Pleasant Valley Centennial, and the couples were greeted. for the Centennial. The guest of honors at the Centennial. So I'm just at the opposite the Hunter Arms Hotel. So in the movie, when you see them looking out the hotel windows, it was the two, you see the air conditioners, it was the two on the right there, and I think that's where Terry and the teacher, they had separate rooms, of course. I think that's where they looked out, and then just behind that tree there, on the other side, would have been where the other couples were, the Millers and I can't remember the other couple's name, but they would have been over on this side. It's really a charming town. It looks like they're kind of fixing it up, and they have a vintage store. That's cool. So there's the other rooms on that side where the other, and I think it would be where the air conditioners are, where the other couples were, on that side looking out. So this is downtown St. Cloud. Or I should say downtown Pleasant Valley. Herschell Gordon Lewis, what a visionary. Like I say, long before what we think of as like really gruesome horror movies like Texas Chainsaw, long before that, there was 2000 Maniacs. In downtown St. Cloud. So here I'm at the entrance to the hotel, and this is right where the mayor would have, I think his name was Mayor Buckham, would have been sitting outside with Lester and the other guy. I love it how it's really old. Smart to film here. I guess it's an historic landmark. You can see the plaque there. That's so cool. So now I'm in the hotel, which is really beautiful. So this is where, this is the famous stairwell where Lester was sitting there, and I love it when was his name, Johnny Miller, comes down, Betsy's enticing him, and they were kind of sleazy, that couple, and he says, oh yeah, if you're going to show me around town, I'd like to see Lover's Lane. That was right here. I love it.
Hi. You know, I was sort of thinking, if we're going to look over the town, why don't we start with Lover's Lane?
Mr. Miller, I declare, you're so clever. Hopper boy, I got a feeling that you're going to have more fun than a beagle dog on a coon hunt. You all go make that call, yeah? Yeah.
Anybody want to make a bet? Go ahead, ring.
Okay, Hopper. Hello, Mrs. Miller?
So they honor the film here in the lobby. That's a history of the hotel and when it was completed, which was 1927. And up here, isn't that cool? Got a little bit of a glare there, but they have a photo there of that opening shot, which was outside. And there's a shot of the outside, probably taken a long time ago. And here's the famous scene of poor Mrs. Miller getting her arm chopped off there. I love it. And there's oh yeah, there they are in the lobby. Got Lester there, and I think his name was Harper. And there's the mayor by the fireplace. That's really cool how they honor it. It's really a lovely place. Just feels like a beautiful hotel you might see in New York. Love it. I'm gonna come over here one more time. Love this area here. So the original fireplace, or the fireplace where the killing was of B. Miller, was not this fireplace. Unfortunately, the restaurant is closed, but it's in the restaurant that's next door. But this looks like it was the lobby, and obviously that's the stairs there where B comes down, B. Miller, and I'm sorry, Johnny Miller comes down, and I love the line he says to Betsy, if you're going to show me around town, I'd like to see Lover's Lane. Was shot right here, and this is right where Lester would have been sitting with his buddy. So great. But it really is a beautiful place. So the fireplace, where the original slashing occurred, was not in here. It was in this restaurant here. Can't really see in there. Okay, so I was just told that the original front desk was in this bar area. So this is where Harper and Lester hung out, and they made the phone call up to the room to try to get B. Miller out of there. So yeah, so that makes sense, because I remember they came down the stairs here, and then they were over on the phone over here. Harper was calling Mrs. Miller to try to get her to come out. And she did, and that wasn't a good idea, because then she ended up in this area here, which we can't get into, but that's where the other fireplace is, and that's where, unfortunately, she met her demise. Love it. So right next to the restaurant, or next to the hotel, is this restaurant. And it's part of the hotel. I'm just going to put my camera there. So this is where Mrs. Miller met her demise, and where the first graphic horror slashing took place in movie history. I wish it were open. We'd probably go in there. Hopefully you can see through the reflection. I'll put my camera over here so you can see the fireplace. That's the fireplace that Mayor Buckham had all his Confederate flags by it, and that's where Mrs. Miller had to lay down, and she didn't do well. Hard to survive getting your arm cut off. But there it is. There it is, the location of the first killing in 2000 Maniacs and the first graphic murder scene in movie history. Right here. So cool. And now it's a restaurant. It's I guess it's only open Fridays and Saturdays, they told me. Amazing. Movie history right in the most unexpected places. All right, now I'm walking around the hotel on the second floor. And this is like a balcony shot on the side. You see the front, that's New York Avenue there. So this is the second floor. Now the rooms on the left would face the outside, would face the front. And this is so cool. So one of these rooms where the cleaning woman is where they would have come out, where Terry would have come out. Excuse me. Maybe it was this room. And where she would have come out, and then her and Tom would have run out. I think they ran this way, actually. Oh yes, this is the famous staircase. So I'm going to come back and look at that. So they would have come out, if this is the way they shot it, they would have come out where they're one of these doors right here. I think maybe I love this. That is so great. So they would have come out one of these doors right here on the left. Going backwards here. I think she came out of this one right here on the left, because I remember there was the fire extinguisher equipment there. Love it. One more look at this famous hallway in horror history. All right, I'm coming around the corner of the hotel, and this is another famous wall here. This is where that little boy, was his name Billy? This is where they show that opening scene. It's this stucco wall where they show the opening scene where they want to kill the cat. Of course, they don't show that on TV, on screen, because I'm sure they didn't actually kill the cat, but this is where they show it, and then he shows the noose afterwards, right here along this wall with Billy, who was kind of a little brat. So, yeah, just a little shot of the town here. It's cute. They have a magic store here. Card store there. All right, so now we're coming around the back, and it's a rainy day, a rare cold and rainy day here in Florida. So this is where Terry, played by Connie Mason, and I believe his name was Tom, the teacher, this is where they escape. Oh, I love these old signs. Love that. Magazines, soda, sundries. Nobody ever uses the word sundries anymore. Okay. So there's the inside courtyard. Yeah, oh, look at that old sign, Hunter Arms Hotel. So this is the famous stairwell. I showed you the inside hallway where they came out. It was room 239, I believe, where they came out, Terry and Tom, the teacher, and they run right down here. So we're behind the Hunter Arms Hotel. So after the Connie Mason character and the Tom the teacher, after they escape running down that stairwell right there, you see this shot right here, which is right, I'll line it up, which is right where you see that nick in the wall, and this gutter right here. And I guess back then there was a building right here, right where there's parking spaces. So after they came out, you can see them standing right here. Interesting, because usually there's more buildings over time, and I guess they took away a building here. But the Terry, pretty Terry character and the Tom teacher character are shown right here after they come down those stairs and make their escape. Those stairs right there. Love it, and they still look the same. All right, so we stopped to get a little bite here at Mutts on 13th, a little burger place, and we're right next to where Lister's garage was. It's on the busy 192, just about a half a mile or a mile from where we just were. So back then, the 192 was not as busy as it is now, and it wasn't as wide as it is now. So this is the original Lister's garage. However, you can kind of see where the masonry has been cut, because it actually used to come way out here. It would be like taking up part of the road, so they literally had to cut the building off. So I'm actually standing right here is where they would have come after they talked to Billy and promised him candy. Their convertible, or Terry's convertible, was right here. And you can see how, as I said, you can see how it was chopped off there. And this used to be the interior because we've got a light switch right there. So I'm actually standing right in the middle of Lister's garage. And it goes back. You can see how that's a garage entrance right there. Isn't that interesting? So to make room for this busy highway, they literally chopped this building up. But this was Lister's garage. And I'm actually standing right inside where they would have come, Terry and Tom, and gotten their car from Billy. Thankfully, Billy finally gave him the keys. I'm just going to walk around here. So interesting how buildings change and areas change. Back in 1964, this was probably just a little two-lane highway, the 192. This is Lister's garage. Just gonna check out the back of it. Oh yeah, you can see the back of it right there. And in the movie, looks like a boarded up window there. But in the movie, you actually, when they open up the gate, you see the windows. So that would have been that window right there. Let me just get in here. That window right there that's now boarded up was in the movie when they open up the gate and get their car. That's so amazing. And this looks like that was a window there. It's a very busy place, the 192. We just stopped here at this place to get a bite. Lister's garage. One more shot of the front. Or what remains of Lister's garage. Love it. All right, well, this is probably the most famous location of the movie. We're in a little park that's just across the 192, just about a block that way is where we were at the Hunter Arms Hotel. And this is where they set up the big rock that killed Mrs. Wells, Beverly, I think her name was. And you can see, I'm gonna line it up here. It would have been probably right about here is where they set it up. In the movie, you can see those two doors there. There's a little public amphitheater there in that building. And I'm just gonna go over to this tree right here where you can see the tree has that fork in it right there. That's just to the left of where they set up that big rock that killed poor Mrs. Wells, Beverly Wells. So you can see those two doors in the background. And then there used to be a bench right over here. Doesn't look like they have the bench anymore, but that's the tree. So the rock would have been right here. where she met her demise. Of course, the character Rufus had to be the one that that killed her. If you watch the scene, different people in the town try to hit the thing that makes the rock come down, kind of like something you see in a carnival. And then Rufus throws the ball, and of course the rock comes tumbling down, and Mrs. Wells is dead. And then afterwards, he had the best lines in the movie. Afterwards, he said, "I think I should pitch in the major leagues." He was so funny. So this is where that torturous scene was that Herschell Gordon Lewis set up. Each killing was so different. You had the man pulled apart by the 4 horses, and then of course, the first killing, Mrs. Miller had her arm chopped off, and then you had another Mr. Miller, Johnny Miller. Of course, he was kind of sleazy. You always know in a horror movie when a guy or a woman is kind of sleazy, it's not going to end well. And he gets in that barrel with the nails. But this was quite a bad death here for Mrs. Wells. So horror history here again, 60 years ago. Such an iconic film. All right, so this will be my parting shot on this rainy day in Pleasant Valley. The South will rise again. I love that. They kept saying that in the movie. The last scene, or one of the last scenes with the murder, with the killing of the big rock, poor Miss Beverly. She had such a cute dress on. Met her demise right here, right in this spot, 60 years ago. Well, thanks for joining us on another episode of Why Not Go? This was really exciting for me. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be seeing ya.